Our work here is done. Let's leave before they drop another plate on our heads.
Whoops.
If it isn't Cloud.
We're looking for a way topside. No one?
And luck with that. Security's so tight these days that not even a gnat could slip through. Wall Market's in a sorry state, too. Corneo's men are turning it upside down looking for Avalanche.
Wouldn't they think that Avalanche was killed in the thing?
Man with a...
What are they looking for?
What? Got a problem?
Do they have... Sung was looking at us on Skype 5 seconds before everything
I know.
blew up. He has no plausible reason to think we're alive.
has placed a very impressive bounty on you and your friends' heads.
Maybe he was reviewing the...
They saw the real destruction and were like, ooh, that really didn't... That doesn't...
Yeah, you're right. We were expecting 50 feet of concrete on top
Yeah,
of it.
where did it all go?
That cat lived. Everybody's fine. It's crazy.
In a rather lovely flower garden.
Uh-oh. We were spotted at Elmira's place.
Oh, jeez.
This is bad. Really bad.
Let's move.
Bounty hunters are headed towards Sector 5, looking for us. Maybe Song...
Goons?
Goons are headed towards Sector 5 looking for us, the Goon Squad. They're looking for Tifa, though, not Barrett. But maybe Song, like, after that whole thing went down, he was, like, going and, like, double-checking. Maybe he was also asking, why do they have that thing literally full of explosives? Why is there so much fire and explosions on this? Couldn't we have figured out another way to collapse this without all those explosives? And maybe when he was looking through the schematics, he saw, wait, what's this weird, funny zip line that's built here and it's placed in such a way that it would be the last thing to collapse?
Yeah.
Reno Rude, I think we have a problem.
A million times harder without my glasses.
My glasses. We all did that at the same time.
When I was cleaning out my
It's hard not to.
You wanna take
What the?
one off my hands?
Did
My late husband.
somebody just like phase in right there?
No,
Am I
I don't know. I
crazy?
think you just weren't paying attention.
No, I thought for like a frame,
Music.
like Barrett or somebody's head.
Oh,
like,
that probably did happen.
fused in right before it zoomed in.
This place is real messed up. The collapsed. That's the collapsed expressway right next to us. The whole dungeon we went through with Aerith earlier. Because we were talking about we're in the sector where the plate fell, and it's we were talking about how Sector 5 seems like a massive dumping ground just full of crap outside of the city, but
A mech.
you know, this place is messed up in a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what Sector 7 should look like. All of that and more should be covering the whole place.
Oh yeah.
But whatever, it's too late now.
Hey, Barrett.
Actually, it should have been
Is the last thing we need.
dead weight.
Kyrie!
When you brought up Nero earlier unprompted, and I knew that I was gonna stop for him saying dead weights, I was like... But no, I mean, and also remember the plate that collapsed here wasn't a finished plate. It collapsed, like a section of it collapsed midway through construction, not the whole thing finished with skyscrapers on
Right,
top.
there wasn't stuff on top of it.
You mentioned like bringing up Nero again. We had for movie night. We had kind of that experience where like through dinner, one of our friends was quoting Pulp Fiction, and then later on, I was bringing up the old cartoon Clutch Cargo, and I was like, just throw that on while we're waiting, and they're like, no. And we ended up rolling Pulp Fiction after he quoted it, and I forgot that Clutch Cargo is in Pulp Fiction. Like halfway through the movie, it pops up on the TV. I'm like, ah! I was soy jacking. I was pointing at the screen. Like, there it is.
Oh boy.
I referenced the scene, I think it's like towards the beginning of Pulp Fiction, where John Travolta's like shooting up. I despise that scene, not because I think it's like bad or anything. Makes your skin crawl. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it in my bones every time.
It's specific. Yeah,
I
no,
hate
they.
it.
Like, I cringe into, like, what, you don't like needles? It's like, it wasn't that. It's like, you could see the needle was not easily going into the
Right,
skin.
yeah.
Like, there was a lot of resistance.
So I said, I don't even remember how it came up, but I said something about like, yeah, that scene in Pulp Fiction where John Travolta's shooting up, and they just looked at me like, huh? And I was like,
Cloud, thank goodness you're here.
does everyone not Has everyone not seen Pulp Fiction? I thought that was like a cultural like thing that happened.
I only saw it for the first time like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's still, listen, it's one of those things. There's an XKCD comic that I think about a lot. That was about it was about the statistics of everybody knows that thing.
Yeah.
And it was about the statistical realities of if everybody knows that thing, realistically, at least 10,000 people a day are finding out about that for the first time.
Yeah.
Don't take it as a like how can you not know about that? Take it as it's your opportunity to introduce them to the thing.
Oh no, and I wasn't like
I know you weren't. I know you weren't.
Insulted, but it really was like I would love to have never seen that scene before. It's really what my like thing about it was like I wish I didn't have the knowledge of what that scene was. Similar to a movie that I love dearly, Boondock Saints, and the scene of them like ironing each other's wounds closed. I'd love to not have the knowledge of that scene.
That was a good one.
Oh, it's rough, dude. That's another one where I'm like, I know what's happening, and I know when the sounds indicate that this scene is over, and so I am sitting with my hands in front of my eyes until that occurs.
You want to watch Perfect Blue tonight?
No, I don't.
Yes,
and refresh the memory of that of that one scene.
I don't.
I don't know this thing.
I don't think that one's
though.
as bad, actually. Not as for me. For me, that one's not as bad as like the ironing scene.
Oh, I wasn't.
It's still
they're
rough.
they're very different things,
Yeah.
obviously. Also, the fact that scene in Perfect Blue is number one. This is a thing where like it's so by the way, we're putting it's not going to help us out very much. But you'll notice that the subversion materia, it said it gives you resistance to instant death.
That's cool.
If we bind it with warding materia, it increases our chances of not being hit with the instant death status effect.
Cool.
Currently, it only increases our chances by 25%, so it's not actually all that helpful. We got to really level up.
Is that the
warding.
build thing you were talking about for being able to use self-destruct?
If you have fully leveled, you will prevent yourself from having from dying at self-destruct. But then you also have to have an ability called reprieve, because you don't just get hit with the instant death status effect. You also get hit with the damage that will kill you, both of them. So you have to defend against both to stay alive.
Okay.
You can also pair the HP absorption materia with the enemy skill materia.
Yeah.
That was why we put on the resistance.
Bits, you hear me? Leave the faces, though. Shinra ain't gonna give us the bounty otherwise.
This guy we beat up, he was a second ago, he was saying, I should have known you were one of them to Cloud, because we beat him up back in Chapter 3, because he was asking around about a man with a gun for an arm in Sector 7. We didn't kill him, obviously.
He's pressured.
But yeah, they're super scared of us and don't want to fight, so instead they called they called their little friend out, this little Tomberry. He's a cool little dude.
He is a cool dude.
So, yeah, Chef's Knife, if he hits you with that, it just kills you.
Yep.
However, as we'll learn when we assess him in a second, if you dodge the attack, which is pretty hard to do, you either have to be, like, if you are blocking when he throws the attack out and it comes out quick, or if you dodge, which is hard to do unless you have, like, the parry on. When Chef's Knife fails to hit, it is supposed to pressure him instantly, but also sometimes he casts Doom and Gloom, which just kills you. And I don't know what causes that. I don't know, like, what prompts him to use that move. And I noticed during this fight, if he fails to perform an action, briefly susceptible to being staggered. For whatever reason, several times, this Tonberry fails to land attacks, and doesn't get pressured. There he just gets pressured for no reason, nothing happened. He just got pressured. I don't know, I guess there are like other parameters on this fight that I don't know about. But you'll notice he's not taking a lot of damage, and if you're just standing on top of him, wailing on him,
You're gonna get stabbed.
that's the easiest way to get a Chef's Knife to the chest, because you can't stop attacking to defend the second you see the attack coming up.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to do hit and run attacks. And he can also turn. He can also he pulls his hood up and then he disappears for a second.
What a cool dude.
Tifa, get out of the way!
But no, anyway, so you can, I wanted to double check and make sure I had it right. I did remember at least part of the strat, which is the last bit with self-destruct, is you pair the enemy skill materia with the HP absorption materia, which is you get back like 20%, I think the lowest level is 20% of the damage that you dealt, you heal for. So you bind that to the self-destruct materia while you have total resistance to instant death because you've leveled up your warding materia all the way. And then the move will reduce your health to 1, but you'll also simultaneously heal yourself for whatever percentage of the damage you dealt.
Okay.
You can only do that once because reprieve only works once per fight, but you can build a character to blow themselves up and do massive damage once in a fight.
That's kind of cool, though.
Here it comes.
See, I never got into like anything that technical.
That's very
when it
much a
comes to-
post-game strat because
Oh,
you're
for
probably
sure.
not going to have a fully leveled warding materia by the ending of the game anyway, and you have to have it at 100% for that to be a consistent strat.
I
only
feel
we could've
bad
talked
for
to-
killing him.
I know. If only we could have talked it out.
If only we could have talked it out with him. Maybe in the Chocobo dungeon games with everybody we could talk to him.
That's right.
Work things
We'll
out.
tell everyone we were never here. That the rumors were bullshit. And if we hear about you, or any of your friends, coming around here ever again,
You'll answer to my boot.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Miss.
So in the grand tradition of I wind up
Meow.
doing better on things in rehearsal than I do during the actual takes. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. I normally don't have the rehearsal tapes, but I used the PS4 share button because when I was running through this for rehearsal, I had just that fight went on for a while, and you saw
Yeah.
I fast forwarded several bits in there. On this one, he actually gets pressured every time he misses instead of just not sometimes.
Awesome.
And I make very good use of Tifa's parry out of her focus thrust to just continually wail on him with the attack. And so right there, I activated focus thrust before he was pressured because I saw him miss the attack, and I knew that he was going to be pressured.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory. During this fight, he was consistently though.
It just worked out the way it was supposed to.
I suppose so.
You ready? It's on you.
Guess it's my turn.
So Barrett doesn't have overcharge anymore with his melee weapon. He now instead has his overrun move where he charges into somebody and then slams down on them.
Okay.
It doesn't look very impressive against this Tonberry because the Tonberry's got so much health. But it is actually a really good move. And his new ATB move he gets from the claw is his uppercut move that he just
Okay.
did there. But yeah, he's already staggered, and everybody's got ATB, and I got his percentage up, and he's not going to make it through this.
Just wailing on him.
Poor fella. Yeah, no, obviously with Barrett, most of the time you want a gun arm, but I know, I
Ooh,
remember
there he goes.
1 or 2 fights where like a melee arm was really effective.
His stats are, he does a lot of damage with that arm. Obviously his gun is normally chip damage. You want it mainly for utility than for his damage output necessarily. But he can do a lot of damage. I'm gonna keep we're gonna see some more of melee Barrett in action. You can also see over there on the map, you can see a little icon of a chocobo with a little tear to hint where the missing chocobos are, because they're
Poor
scared.
baby.
They're scared by what happened. All right, let's listen to a new chocobo theme variation. No way. Okay, maybe next time I use the fast travel system, we'll actually be able to hear a new variation on the theme. But the receptionist over at the Honeybee Inn told us when we asked if Andrea was around, told us that Andrea was at the gym.
Yep.
Okay, adjust. Come on.
Come on.
Squint
All
a
right.
little, Cloud. Squint a little. There you go.
Don't you think you've done enough? Believe me, I ought to know.
Nope. Not yet.
Wow.
Man, I can hear his lats screaming out in pain.
Oh, look, they're doing
Andy
the
hasn't
squats
slowed down
thing.
Hell
in the
yeah,
rain.
they are.
They're having a squat off.
But my God, when I look at that magnificent physique of his,
Does he wear that all the time?
I'm worried about
Seems
him.
like it.
No, I get that, listen, dancing takes a lot of energy. You work up a sweat doing that. So obviously, that thing would have to get cleaned a lot. So I guess at that rate, why not work out in it? But it just seems like it's a little, he's got the big kind of, feathered thing around his neck.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know, I don't
say-
know if
Things
that's,
on his arms.
I don't know if that's just right for this.
I was hoping you knew a way we could get topside.
Sorry, but it's not possible. Well, well. What do we have here? I can see you're someone who likes to train, to be their very best.
Me?
Your physique, slender yet toned, and that perfectly balanced symmetry. I can tell from a glance that you learned from the best there is. But your muscles look tight, which can only mean one thing. You're conflicted.
Oh, is that what causes that? That explains a lot.
Excuse me. You're Tifa, right? While you're here, want to give Andy a run for his money? Work up a sweat, release some endorphins. It's the answer to everything. I promise.
I'm in, if you are.
Wavering heart.
So obviously we did our squatting contest earlier. Now we have a pull-up contest where the winner is the one who does the most pull-ups. I think broadly those are the rules for pull-up contests, but then I've never been in a pull-up contest, so maybe the rules are a little more complicated than that under other circumstances. So unlike the squats from before where we just went in a circle around the face buttons, now the order changes up, and our match against Andrea has 2 rounds, and the order changes up on each of them.
Ooh.
Andrea is really not all that hard to beat. It's just about remembering the pattern that you have here. You are going to see Tifa fall in a second, and I have a good excuse, I promise, which is, just like with the sit-ups, previously we only had to do 1 round of sit-ups to, finish the side quest. And similarly, we only have to do one match here against Andrea, but there's more sit-ups afterwards. And it gets progressively harder. This gets really hard. And having played the last round a lot during rehearsal, and then coming back to do this, I realized that the rate at which the little indicator accelerates, Tifa's acceleration is way lower in the first 2 rounds. So my muscle memory of the pace of how fast it gets was completely off. But it doesn't matter because Andrea he's been doing pull-ups all day long. So he's already very fatigued, so I'm barely going to eke out a win against him.
Yeah, no, it's like if you play a rhythm game that you're pretty good at and you go and put it on the easiest difficulty, you're going to start screwing up because it's weird.
Yep. Andrea lost, very, very graciously there. Did a little pose for us and everything.
I can't believe I won.
Your fiery passion pushed me to my limits and helped me to overcome my lingering stress and fatigue.
Okay.
I'll be taking the stage tonight in the best condition of my life. Thank you.
You're doing a show tonight?
No, thank you.
The whole thing only happened that was 12 hours ago, dude. Maybe give everybody a minute.
No. The show must go on, Jacob.
He does the shows to help everybody else forget what's going on.
That was what he said when we talked to him earlier. Also, why did he do an evil laugh as he was walking out?
Just for the vibe.
When he spoke to him earlier, he said, I will put on a show in honor of everyone. And he's like, yeah, but I don't know.
Amateur difficulty unlocked.
Looking to work up a sweat?
Do you have to get momentum on your arms to be able to lift them?
So that is actually you can't face Andrea again, but if you for some reason wanted to do the extremely basic one, you talk to that guy. So again,
you can back.
Why is he in my face?
He's intimidation. He knows.
Dude, go away.
He knows that she's not gonna be able to. She's too tough. He's trying to get inside her head. But yeah, I'm gonna fall again on this because again the rhythm is weird. I think the rounds are also shorter. But Andrea and Jay are again, like I said, they're pretty easy. It's hard to screw up to them. You can fall twice and still eke out a victory. Not a graceful victory, but you can do it. So as discussed previously with the squats, you can identify where you're supposed to be in the sequence by watching Tifa's animation. When you see her animation stutter and freeze for a couple of frames, that's because the indicator has hit the next face button, and the animation doesn't continue until you make the input. But you can make the input, even if you make it a little bit early, you still see it, her freeze up like that. It's an odd thing to get the timing on, and I'm gonna be real. Some of my failures, I think I had the rhythm exactly right, and the game screwed me, but...
It was bullshit.
But who can say for sure? Because, I was after a minute, you get the rhythm kind of locked in.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why some of my inputs... I was I didn't speed up, I didn't slow down, I knew what I was doing. But anyway.
Every time it cuts to black that abruptly, I'm like, did it crash?
Anyway, this Jules is hard. This is hard, gang. I want to check. In fact, I forgot to do this. I want to check the percentage of players who have the achievement for beating him on Steam, because I bet it's not a lot.
I wonder if I beat him on mine.
Jeez.
Because it's the same trophies on PlayStation, right?
I believe so. Yes. So so here's the thing.
When this comes back up and I see how fast it's going, it just makes me nervous.
So here's the thing about Jules. He is just naturally faster than Tifa. If you watch at the very beginning of a given round, our base starting speeds, we both have to accelerate, but watch the counter and you'll notice that Jules's goes up just a frame or two before Tifa's.
Yeah.
His base speed is just faster than Tifa's base speed, and he accelerates faster than her. Look, I'm making my inputs perfectly, and he's getting faster than me.
Yeah.
If you screw up on this, the only places where it is acceptable to screw up are at the exact ending of a round where it doesn't matter, or if Jules also screwed up. Otherwise, look how long it takes her to get back up and how fast he's going.
Yep.
If he hadn't fallen there, he would have gotten like 10 reps there before I got another pull up. If you can't screw up against Jules and win.
Lost by 1.
By
Damn.
1.
I would be infuriated.
Of course I know a thing or two.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think you can search specific games on.
I don't know about on PlayStation. That's why I'm going to.
It's been like this for ages, but unless I'm missing something, it really aggravates me that it's like. For trophies, like your personal trophies, it goes by order in which you've played stuff, most recent to least recent, and it's like I play a lot of games, so it's like and you can't filter it, so it's like I don't know I'm even gonna be able to find FF7.
All right, let's see. I'm looking at them on Steam. I'm pretty sure you can view it through like the browser for PlayStation as well, but it's just a bit more of a hassle. I'm going to try and find. Let's see. Okay. More people have beaten Jules than got a smooch from Jesse during the biking sequence, but it's still only 11.7% of players.
Wow.
And just as a point of reference, 15% of players have played the DLC. 30% of players have beaten the game.
Wow.
So of the 30% who have beaten the game, there was still 20% that did not. Maybe they just skipped it, or maybe they couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but this is look how fast he's going.
It's ridiculous.
It's unrecoverable. Like there's like, and then Tifa's gotta you can't.
Woo.
He doesn't even start again because he knows. He just does one as a victory lap.
He does have like startup time like we do, but it's just he accelerates too fast, and if he's going when you fall, you're in trouble. Also, you saw a long loading screen there because I gave up because I fell in the first second of one of these, and at that rate you should just give up. But the load time to get out if you click give up is like way slower than if you just finish a round. So if you're in the second round and you're not gonna win, just finish it. It's literally faster. Anyway, so I was here for a while.
This is a Sisyphusian task over here.
Watch the numbers.
Yeah.
And look how close I am on some of these. And specifically, if I fall, how fast he gets ahead of me. On some of these, I'm ahead, and then I fall, and he just whoop.
Yeah.
I have a solid lead, and it doesn't matter.
Jeez.
All for content. I don't even remember what the Champion's Belt does.
The Champion's Belt is an accessory that gives you 10% increased health and 5 or 10% increased strength.
Okay.
And we already have one of them from doing the hardest mode squats contest, and we stole one of them from Burly Thug from Beck's Badasses.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an okay accessory, but they sell for like 3,000 gil or something stupid.
Okay.
That's the real reason you want it. But we're here for the Chivos, let's be very
That's
clear.
true. Like I said, for the content.
Yep.
Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't get so lucky. When I was rehearsing this
hope you're all warmed up.
this like leg of the game for the first time several months ago, I was on this I think even longer. Then a few nights ago when I was like, well, I gotta refresh myself because it's been months, and I ran through this again. I got it in maybe like, I don't know, maybe 10 rounds, somewhere thereabouts. It was relatively fast. Last night when I was doing this, as you obviously observed, it took me quite a while to finally beat him.
To be fair, though, it's kind of the first time that any of these mini games have come close to the difficulty of the original game. You know, where it's like a few of those were like, ugh.
But I would say most of the mini games in the original were difficult because of obtuseness.
Correct. No, for sure. But I'm just saying.
But no, I'm cool with this. To be clear, I don't have a problem that it's hard. I like that it's hard. I just occasionally got a little incensed because I was like, I really think, like sometimes I hit the button and I'm like, yes, I jump. A lot of my failures are because I forget the pattern. Like I second guess myself. Even though I've been hitting the buttons for 15 seconds, you get inside your own head and you hit triangle when you're supposed to hit square. And those, like, that was me. That was I screwed up. And that is part of the challenge. You'd think it would be easy because you're just doing the motion over and over and over again, but you wig yourself out. Or it pops up with the you gotta mash to clear it, and you see X highlighted, but you actually still have to hit square and triangle before you're mashing, or you start mashing X before the meter like gets to it. So there's plenty of perfectly legitimate reasons to screw this up, though occasionally I feel like I really thought that I had the rhythm down. And
Got
it
him
said
by
no.
5.
Yep.
Solid win.
Finally cleared it.
Asked for a better opponent.
Yeah, that's right. You won 40 times and I took one dub, but it was the last one. I'm leaving your gym and never coming back. Put a plaque on the wall that says Tifa Lockhart claimed victory here. She won the champion belt, and she will not be back to defend her title.
I wouldn't either, to be fair.
But anyway, Kyrie told us she was supposed to be showing up for a match. Who's gonna let us in? Oh, that guy.
Oh, champ! Couldn't have picked a better time. This Kyrie chick totally flaked on her match, which means we're down a fighter, and we can't exactly pit the other guy against himself. What do you say? Mind taking her spot?
Whoa, Tifa, you're a little close. A little close. Now, if you want to come in for a smooch, I won't say no. But if you're not going to do that, it's just a little weird. Barrett's right here. Forgot to spec for this. Nothing too complicated. But just swapping a couple things around for this fight. I want Barrett to have ice magic, though honestly, you don't even need it. All you need for this fight is a potion.
Oh, champ! Couldn't have... This Kyrie, what do you say?
Every game needs to have an arena.
I'll take it.
Every game.
Sweet!
Oh, speaking of games with arenas, one of the quality of life things in TTYD is you can now do exhibition matches against competitors you've already fought as you're progressing through the rankings. Previously, if you forgot to tattle somebody, you were just out of luck until the post game. Now you can go back and fight anybody anytime you want.
That's so cool.
The hell you doing here? Where's the girl, Kyrie? That thieving little pipsqueak?
Guessing he's the guy she's running from.
Kyrie's not coming. He'll have to make do with us.
Whatever. I can roll with it. After all, you and me, we got unfinished business.
What is this icky thing he's got now? It's ickier than the dogs he had.
It's true. It's a much ickier dog.
He's a good boy.
If that thing was underwater, Joey would say friend.
Yeah.
Joey would say, look at him, he's just a guy.
He's just chilling.
Anyway, so Overrun, Barrett's new move, is pretty good on lightweight enemies. And it does a lot of damage. Like I said, it really using it on that Tonberry as our first demonstration does not properly demonstrate how good that move is. So anyway. And that's charging uppercut. Which charging uppercut recharges Barrett's triangle meter, whether it's overrun or overcharge. It refills a huge chunk of the meter, which that's how you get proficiency with it, is you have to use overrun, have the meter be only partially full, and then land charging uppercut to fill the meter back up. So this says extinguish either flame to weaken its attacks. He's got a fire flame, which is extinguished with ice, and a purple flame, which I guess is demonic or ghostly or something. And you can extinguish that by using healing magic or healing items or whatever.
My question then becomes, would you not... Do they heal it also, or does it
No, they do not. It's because it's considered an undead enemy.
Okay.
So like a lot of RPGs where it's like, you know, I'm going to throw a phoenix down on this ghost enemy and it just dies even if it's a boss. This is not quite that insane where, like, you know, you throw a phoenix down on it and he just dies because he's only half dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, what is nuts is, so I hit him with Blizzard a second ago, and it filled a big chunk of his stagger gauge and you know, pressured him, and then we pushed the pressure. But what's really funny is you don't even need to hit him with like a big magic spell or a good healing item. If you just throw a potion on Hellhound, it instantly pressures him.
Nice.
Interesting.
And if you know that, and you got ATB meters filled, I didn't really take advantage there and have everybody hit him with the focused stuff. But now that the flame is extinguished, it wouldn't have pressured him, but he just got the flame back up, so I can just throw another potion on him. Sorry, buddy. If the flames are extinguished, then you can't do that. And now that it's like the normal flames up, I would have to use a Blizzard spell to pressure him. But it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna, you know, just keep hitting him.
Yeah, I really love it in games like this where it's like, as long as you've got the knowledge, you can really just dunk on something.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a beat stick. You can just, you know.
So yeah, watch his meter down there, his charge meter, and it fills back up when you hit them with charging uppercut.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, even though it's just a claw, we can still shoot our big beam out of it.
Interesting.
Or our big ball, I should say.
The crowd will love it.
Reigning champion does it again. Not only does he retain his crown, but now.
So I discussed this previously, but Cloud and Aerith's little animations they do when they finish a match in the Coliseum are their victory animations from the original game, and we haven't seen Barrett and Tifa in this environment, but that was also recreations of their original victory animations.
Fun.
Tifa kind of stretches out and puts her arms behind her back, and Barrett like pumps his arms up in the air. No, finished up with that. Took care of Kyrie's little problem. Maybe she'll give me the stupid key now.
Yeah.
Did he not even pay us for that?
No.
We're the champion.
We're just maintaining our title at this point.
Stupid.
Probably somehow Madam M got paid.
So how'd it go?
Well enough. If they're smart, they won't send anyone else.
Really? That is so good to hear.
Learn your lesson, girl?
Totally. From now on, I only steal from the right people.
That ain't the lesson.
Talk about a weight off my shoulders. Oh, I completely lost track of time. I'd better get going.
Hold it.
Grandma!
Grandma?
Why are you here?
You, young lady, are gonna hear about this later. Thank you for keeping her out of trouble.
She say grandma?
What? Did I forget to mention it to you? Kyrie's my granddaughter, my flesh and blood. See? We even have the same eyes. Kyrie, the key. You've kept them waiting long enough.
Yeah. What's it for, anyway? Why do you guys want it?
And how's that any of your business, young lady? Learn to wipe your own ass before you start rooting around in other people's shit.
Okay.
Grandma, cut it out. You're embarrassing me.
Nana would totally say that.
Embarrass you? Says the girl who steals from anyone. Even a thief needs principles, not to mention the courage of convictions to follow their conscience. Take it from me, the guardian angel of the slums.
I thought so.
Oh my gosh!
And you three are Avalanche.
I like that Tifa said that, because if Cloud had said it, like, I like to think Cloud knew, like, instantaneously.
Yeah.
Especially after the side quest in Wall Market where he helps her clear the Guardian Angel's name.
Yep.
We are who we choose to be. But you have to decide who that is and commit. Make the most of your time when you still have it. Right?
We are who we choose to be.
Huh?
If we got our hands on Corneo's fortune and gave it away, we could be angels of the slums too.
I suppose that's one way we can do some good.
But that isn't the only way that Avalanche could make a real difference.
That's true enough.
We gotta bomb the other reactors.
We gotta finish what we started, Tifa. Our work is incomplete.
He's gonna drop all
the plates.
All the plates.
More than even he knows if the rumors are true.
We got secret rooms in the
Reminds
sewers.
me, someone spotted a tacky-looking door over by the collapsed expressway.
A tacky looking?
If you're curious, there's another door that's...
You remember those tacky-looking doors that had the dragon symbols on them? We saw one down in the sewers, and we saw one deep in the scrap.
Oh.
There's another one. There's a new one down in the collapsed expressway that was not there previously. It has been exposed, presumably by the rumblings following the collapse of the plate.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. Joey called Kyrie on because the actress who plays her voices on in Persona 5. I think she's someone in Genshin Impact. I mean, she's all over the place. She's in tons of stuff. She's also Violet in Violet Evergarden, the lead character in that. It's an anime that was around a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, key to the sewers, key to my heart, and the Corneo vault key. Look, it's got the design that's on the door, so pretty easy. A gaudy-looking key stolen by Kyrie. But also, more importantly, we got what we were here for the whole time, keeping our eyes on the prize, Johnny's wallet.
I never bothered to look at it. That's great.
It contains all the guild to Johnny's name.
What is it? J Boy spelled out
I don't
in the wrong
know.
order? His child's wallet. I wonder if his lucky pillow has a similar pattern on it.
I hope so.
I hope his mom made them both for him.
Okay, I need the lucky pillow to give me a new track, a new Chocobo variation. Come on, baby, I know you got it in you. 3 times.
It's meant to be.
Home might be the better option.
It's like in Smash Brothers where you just set the good songs like to play all the time.
My wallet! My precious wallet! You really did it, bro! I knew I could count on you!
Anything for you,
For
Johnny.
the last time, don't call me that.
Thank you. Now I can get out of town.
You're leaving?
Hush, Tifa. Don't try to stop me. I'm a wanted man in these parts. If I stayed, I'd be a danger to you too.
Get out of the way, NPC.
Okay.
Talking with my best friend
But if
Johnny.
you begged me to stay, I could reconsider throwing everything away.
Good luck out there, Johnny.
Okay.
You'll be fine wherever. You're Johnny. Don't forget.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I am. I'm your Johnny, Tifa, and nothing's gonna bring me down. Bro, Tifa, keep on shining. Johnny out.
You're Johnny, don't forget. And then he zips away. And that's the last we'll see of Johnny.
Man.
I guess technically it's not the last we'll see of him because we did not do the alternate Wall Market side quests yet, which are about Johnny. And if you have done those alternate Johnny side quests, and then you do this, when you've done all of the Johnny stuff in the game, you get a trophy called the Johnny Experience, which is awarded upon witnessing all Johnny-related events.
Wow.
That's the only trophy that matters in this whole damn game.
And the Johnny Experience has 19% acquisition rate on Steam.
That's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, that's about 2/3 of the people that have finished
I
it.
think most people get the I think most people get his quest chain in whatchamacallit, in Wall Market. And I think most people at least do the Kyrie thing so they can get into the can get at the chests.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when it comes to like trophy percentages, it's like
I don't remember if she's required. I don't think you have to have the key to the sewers. I don't think we got that from her though.
I don't think so. But it's like when it comes to trophy percentages in games, it's like it's really just a feeling because it's like not everybody that like is being counted has even really played the game. It's like when you see like a Dark Souls game, it's like players that have died for the first time and it's like 70%. It's like, okay, well then 30% of people just didn't play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also the case. That's also something important to remember. Like I've contributed to that bloat because I've accidentally booted a game on PlayStation, then I realized, oh, I'm on the wrong account.
Yeah.
But now technically it's registered as having been booted under that PSN account, so that's another person who has 0 of the achievements.
All these Moogle medals. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that we're not going to spend. At this point, we've cleaned out all of Moggy's unique items, but we can go and buy like elixirs from him.
Yeah, but it's like the elixirs you're going to use in hard mode, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll use them during the ending of the game, Joey.
Yeah, will you?
Maybe. You know, if I go buy some, which I may or may not do. I certainly didn't film myself doing that.
3,000. We're rich.
We're rich. Point at the chest. It's kind of shaped like a mushroom.
It kind of is. God, when I went to my friend's wedding, we stayed there the week and did.
Hold on 1 second, because most of those chests aren't crazy, but this one is important. This one is the unique item we're here for, a ruby tiara.
Oh.
This is the one that's actually
item.
This is the one that's quest mandatory and a key item. Yes. This is the actual like object of great value in Corneo's stash.
Wow.
And I'll also point out, I can't say anything directly about this to Aiden, but this thing that's called a ruby thing kind of looks like another ruby thing that shows up way later in Final Fantasy VII.
Huh.
It's the other ruby thing is not a tiara, but it's kind of shaped and maybe laid out a little bit, like maybe another thing that has ruby at the front of its name. Rubies. Big rubies. A ruby thing that Joey and I did not mess with during our original playthrough.
We did
but I
not.
imagine you've probably seen it since then.
Yeah. But no, we were talking about mushroom. I was talking about.
Yeah, look at you can see the little crying little chocobo over on
poor-
the right there.
Poor baby.
I didn't point them out for the other two that we got. I apologize, Joey. Now,
No, I was just.
now speak
it's
your
it's
piece.
stupid. I was just saying we went golfing and I don't golf, so I was just driving around.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the golf course had a bunch of mushrooms, and you better believe every time we pass one.
And the whole party, all of us point off of the mushroom. Wait, hold on. It's a Memorial Day miracle.
It's playing the wrong song.
It's moments like this that's like, what if we had a camera where all of us are just
We're all just
sitting here
wiggling
wiggling?
on the sofa. It is the thing where I really think a webcam would be wasted on us like the vast majority of the time, but every now and then something happens.
Sometimes you just need to have a webcam like that's always going that you can pull from occasionally.
Yeah,
like,
I don't use it all the time.
In a weird angle, like there's one guy that I watch occasionally, and he'll cut to the rafters cam, and it's just a camera he's got like up in the rafters of his ceiling.
We gotta go. I gotta simplify my setup. I'm always having these technical issues. We gotta go back to the DSP setup. We gotta point.
I know.
We gotta point a Sony like camcorder.
Oh,
Oh my
whoa.
god! Oh,
Oh my
flashing
gosh.
lights.
It's like I'm playing 76.
We gotta point a camcorder at the TV, and we gotta set up the lights in such a way that like the reflection of us is bouncing off of the TV.
It's the proper way of doing it.
No
Oh, a
editing required at
diamond
that
tiara
point.
also. We got a ruby and a diamond.
Yes, Diamond Tiara, an excellent character from My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic.
Oh god, I actually dropped
too-
My Little Pony lore at work the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I sure did. I don't know a lot of it, but
Yeah, similarly, this is also kind of designed like a diamond something.
Something.
Diamond Tiara is not like actually a significant character from Friendship is Magic.
oh.
There are
I fully
It
believe
sure
you,
could've.
Jacob. I need
there are
you to
no there
understand.
there are two snooty rich girls from like the elementary school in town, Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon.
We make a decent team.
Anyway, but as you just observed there, his overrun move can just kind of eliminate some of these basic mob encounters.
Nice.
But tell me what MLP lore you dropped, and we'll see if I even know it.
I don't even remember how it came up, but it was something about, like that the ponies have the cutie marks, but I couldn't think of the word cutie mark.
I see.
While I was having the
The mark
yeah.
that is about what their talent is.
Yeah.
Their fatalistic destination of what their career is going to be.
Yeah.
The comic I see occasionally that still makes me chuckle. It's like, oh boy, I can't wait to find out, and it's just a picture of like a burger. It's like,
But
I only showed this fight briefly because I maxed out the affinity for charging uppercut, and also the pedometer materia became AP up materia, which is basically you bind that, you put those in bound. It's a blue materia like magnify or like elemental. But instead, you pair it with a materia, and that materia gains AP at an increased rate.
Interesting.
Now, if you want to be like a real asshole and you want to just achieve nothing other than leveling, you could pair AP up with Elemental. Neither of them is doing anything for you, and you're wasting 2 slots, but Elemental needs a lot of AP to level up.
Yeah.
Though what I actually wind up doing in a little bit here is I slap it on, I pair it with Time.
What are these
Jacob,
carrot men? I
these-
dislike them.
is not the Carrot Man, but the other one, is it a bastard?
Is it a bastard?
What enemy? Sorry.
The Terpsichore. I feel like I'm seeing that, and I'm getting
The Terpsichore can be a problem. He spins around a lot, and he just does damage, and he can't really be interrupted very easily. You either got to hit him with a magical spell or with Cloud's Punisher counter.
I remember, like, I saw him, and I started getting, like, hatred in my heart.
I left this in and we talked over it. It's not with nothing important happening, but just mainly to show how strong we are now. But also because we're hearing more battle dialogue now, where Cloud and Barrett are not confrontational after fights anymore. They're like, "Keep it up, you too, man." Or you know, let's let that was good. That was pretty good teamwork, man. I guess they're friends now. These guys, they're scared. This Chocobo's scared. He's got reason to be scared. There's some freaks over here.
Maybe that's the bastard.
This is a weird fight. These guys are very heavily resistant to everything. We can't do much damage, and they have a lot of HP.
That sucks.
And also, you can't really stagger them. I know it says they're pressured right now, but that doesn't matter, because if you stagger them, their stagger meter drains in like 2 seconds. You can't really land hits on them. A subspecies that was created by experiments that violated every precept of bioethics.
Oh my god.
They multiply by simple fission, though. So this thing says their attacks are interrupted when they are dancing. Sorry, if their attacks are interrupted while they are dancing, they clone themselves. Defeat the clone first to deal damage to the original effectively. That reads like you shouldn't attack them while they're dancing, because they'll clone themselves and that's bad. That is not the case. You should absolutely immediately attack them when they are dancing, because when it says deal damage to the clone to damage the original effectively, what that actually means is you're gonna do a shitload of damage to the original if you kill the clone.
Okay. That's big.
Yeah, I definitely would have done the don't attack it while it's dancing.
Yeah, as you can see, the Triopolis takes damage much faster, and he will do a good bit of damage to the source when we kill him. Also, these guys cast Eroga, the highest level, highest damage output of Arrow. You want to interrupt that if you can as well. It takes a long time for it to charge up, and you can interrupt it with a dive kick or a braver, or with Barrett's overrun ability if you don't want to spend ATB on it.
Okay.
What is it that kids say today? Vocal stems or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Basically
Never
like
heard that before.
Basically like a brain worm of like hearing something and you think of it kind of like mushroom, right?
Vocal stimulation, I guess.
Sure.
Well, so stimming now is also like almost regarded as like a self-soothing activity, like
An ADHD, repeat this thing over and over again.
Also, heavily associated with like autism, with like what is the terms you use now? High support needs autism versus low support. Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't ask me what the terms are. You should know this
I
stuff.
sure should know this stuff.
I just know I see people talk about it on the social medias about it's like this is mine. They'll post something with a iconic quote or whatever. When I see clone, I just think of an Oni play. It's specifically from an animation, but it's Oni plays them. It's like the prompt is just Homer Simpson who cloned himself. And one of them just the way they say it, I cloned myself today. That's all I hear.
I cloned myself today.
But it's like, it's not a good Homer impression.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, that makes sense.
thing.
I wasn't sure. I haven't seen this clip, so I didn't know which one of them was doing it. Some of them are good at impressions, and some of them are bad.
Exactly. I'll show it to you later.
I thought you were about to dump into the Ozama clones thing. The Shipiphany story.
Oh, God. Oh, that's a classic.
I don't care if it's a clone. I don't give a fuck what they do. They're clones. So also, we saw this with the lesser version of these enemies. We were fighting a couple of encounters back, but they have when they screech, that is an area of effect around them that if you get hit by it, it stuns you for like 20, 30 seconds. Yeah. You can get out. You can either just like get away from them, or if you're blocking, then it doesn't affect you. But anyway, something that's fun here, I elevated him in the air using maximum overcharge or maximum fury, and then I put a chi trap underneath him to juggle him.
Hell yeah.
This fight just takes a long time because they got a lot of health and it's hard to do damage to them.
Maybe it's just this tunnel in general that I remember being frustrated with.
As long as you interrupt their big arrow casts and you actually cause them to split when they're doing that dance, it's not really that much trouble. The arrow casts can do a lot of damage, but just pay attention for whenever the prompt comes up that they're about to do it and have somebody stop it, and it's not that bad. And try not to get stunned by Screech like Tifa just did because she was using Star Shower when the guy next to her started screeching. Mainly, this is kind of a long fight, but these guys are kind of sandbags. So this is a pretty decent opportunity to show off everybody's moves, like that weird thing I was doing a second ago where I was juggling an enemy using Chi Trap. This is also, if you have any abilities that you haven't maxed out the affinity on yet. I got the I obviously maxed out charging uppercut before we got here, but if I hadn't gotten it, as I hadn't during rehearsals, this is a time where it's like, okay, use overrun. Then use it, like, just go ahead and max it out. Same with Tifa's Chi Trap. But yeah, not a crazy fight, but you may feel like you're doing something wrong.
I think that's what it was with me.
Because it takes a really long time to kill them, but you're not. It's as long as you are creating and killing the clones, dodging out of the way of Screech and interrupting their arrow casts, you're doing it right. The only really crazy thing that you can do is, I think, if you really timed it correctly, if you'd already leveled up the time materia all the way, I don't know if these guys are immune to stop or not. I think they're immune to stop. If they weren't immune to stop, you could maybe try and land a stop during the 1 second that they're staggered, but I think they're immune to stop.
Yeah, well.
So I don't think it would matter. You can also poison them. They're not immune to poison, and I forgot to equip poison coming into this fight.
That's the big one then.
That is one thing that can actually help out a lot in this, is you can be continually laying on poison on these guys. That can make the fight. That's the only thing I can think of to make the fight go significantly faster. There may be more secret tech that I don't know about. But
it's just on the surface when you're first starting this, it's like you see these jobbers and you don't think they're gonna be like just beefy.
It feels like it shouldn't be as hard as it is, but no, just try to have some ATB beaters full for whenever they start dancing or whenever they're trying to cast arrow. Have Tifa have Omni strike up, because that can also separate clones and interrupt. And use Barrett's overrun if you don't have ATB, or if you want to knock them out of something and then use ATB. And when they get pressured, put down stuff like Chi Trap and do damage while they're standing still, like so.
Yeah. Just juice it up. Yeah, this is 100%. This is the bastard. This is the one. This is the bastard from my memories.
So I think I interrupted a minute ago talking about when we got the AP up materia. Where, Aiden, were you going to say something else about My Little Pony? Or...
Oh, just that, like, I surprised myself with how many of them I could name.
Oh, how many of the characters?
Yeah. Because we ended up talking about it for a minute longer, because like one of the only episodes that I have seen of the like rebooted, I guess is what that would be considered called.
Well, I mean, they're not all. They're all like. This is the I don't know if you would even call them reboots necessarily, because there have always been they're waves. They're gens.
Okay, that's a better term.
They're Gen 4, Gen 5, whatever. I don't know which ones are which.
I don't either.
Despite watching, the first 2 seasons of Friendship is Magic and having some pony knowledge, I don't know which gens are which. I'm not that deep in. So did you mean watching the new? Is there a new gen or a new show?
I don't know. Oh. From like when Lucy was small enough to be entertained.
Okay,
then
you were watching Friendship is Magic.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you were watching the one that mattered.
They did an episode that was like pretty directly ripping off The Hobbit, of like having a small gremlin that had some sort of thing that it was referring to as its precious. And I was just like, how are they getting away with this?
Well, no, that's an homage. Oh my God, Barrett, he's lit like that one scene from Oppenheimer.
Oh my God.
I would say you do My Precious. I would say My Precious is just like, that's just a reference.
I guess.
That's an homage.
But considering that's the only episode of it that I've seen, I was just like, this is shocking. How are they getting away with this? And Lucy's just sitting there being a child and oblivious. And I was just
TV shows do that all the time. Jimmy Neutron is chock full of Quentin Tarantino references for some reason. Oh yeah, really.
I've seen a fair amount of Jimmy
There's
Neutron.
There's an episode with Quentin Tarantino in it.
You were telling me about it a little bit ago.
Not the actor. Not like Quentin Tarantino's not voicing him, but there is a character who's clearly meant to be Quentin Tarantino named Quentin Smithy.
That's crazy. So at the time that I was watching Jimmy Neutron, I had
wouldn't have known what well, that's not entirely true because you had seen Pulp Fiction by the time you were watching Tarantino. By the time you were watching Jimmy Neutron.
Yep.
Because your dad just had it on while he was. Am I correct? Smoking pot, watching Quentin Tarantino while you were the only one in the house with him?
I probably went out to the garage to smoke the pot.
Okay,
to be fair, I don't think he did it in the house, but he probably was not sober.
Well, you were like 3 or 4 years old or whatever he had Pulp Fiction.
I think the story is 2.5.
Okay, I thought you remembered it. It's just you've been told.
No,
about it.
I have no memory of this whatsoever.
Probably for the better, honestly.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be a pretty funny thing to remember personally. But anyway, Sam does not pay us, but he did give us a lifetime free pass on his fast travel service.
So you don't have to pay just 300 anymore.
Yeah, I've maxed out the materia anyway, but I'm also almost done with the side quests, so I'm not going to save all that much money, and I already paid for multiple trips, Sam. Maybe you could give me a reimbursement for the ones I already bought. But anyway, they're all back home where they belong.
Good.
Yippee!
Cute guys. I like the chocobos.
Chocobos are great.
Have we ever talked about Spencer's earliest memory?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
While we're talking
your
about
boyfriend Spencer, we should specify. Probably people know by this point, but
I only learned this somewhat recently, actually. His earliest memory literally is waking up and walking into the kitchen and being like, "Who am I?
I'm conscious.
Where am I? Where are we right now?" And
What's going on?
His mom was just like, "You're Spencer and you're at your house," and was just totally dismissive of it. And he was just like,
"No,
I don't know, man."
It was She didn't realize it was a philosophical question.
No, it was really like an existential, like, what is happening right now, and he vividly remembers this.
So I mentioned this a second ago. We just bought the HP Absorb materia from Chadley. Right now, we pair it with a spell cast, deadly dodge, parry, or enemy skill, and we get 20% of whatever damage we did. We heal for it, but we can upgrade it as with most of our materia.
Okay, cool. I look forward to your battle.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
I can't think of my earliest memory right now because that's something you gotta like remember.
It is,
right?
yeah.
But I know I wouldn't have been that old. But one of the earliest memories I do have, it was like I guess it was like one of becoming conscious memory was being on some trip somewhere with one of my uncles and having a good time. And him handing me a $10 bill and says, "I'll pay you $10 to shut up for the rest of the trip."
Oh my god!
And I remember sitting there for like an hour holding back tears. That was
awful.
It was.
And now you're paid not very much, but you're paid to talk on the internet.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Take that, Joey's uncle.
Suck it, Tim.
If you want to shove it back in Tim's face, support Joey on Patreon.com.
Oh, it's funny because he really is a bastard.
So, interestingly...
Well, hold on. If it's going to be a long story, we may want to stop there because this is going to be the end of the episode here, actually.
Okay.
I wish I could have just faded out on that joke, but I do have to explain real quick. We've got a bunch more supplemental tournament matches.
Okay.
But wild animals are the same ones we already did with Cloud and Aerith previously.
Okay.
And the Shinra Thugs one is not. Honestly, none of these are really worth seeing.
Gotcha.
However, you'll notice for wild animals for Tifa and Barrett, it says Legacy. That is their upgraded limit breaks, just like for Cloud and for Aerith. For the other ones, we just get the additional SP little books. And for the other ones down below that, we get unique accessories. But we're going to come back on the next episode after I've gone ahead and done these fights. So
Gotcha.
hold on to your story until then.
Sure, yeah.